Good morning, Ma Terry here. All right, this is not one of our regular videos. This is why I do it. I do it, these videos, so I can help others. And right now, I may need some help. Um, what we have Memorial Day, and that's when we celebrate people that have died during the war, veterans that have died during the war. And then we have Veterans Day, and Veterans Day is anybody that served in any of the armed forces that is still alive. We celebrate them. But there's a special kind of veteran out there. And basically, what they do is they go off to war and they get shot at, or they're hanging off a helicopter shooting into the jungles, and they come back, but technically they died over there, and they turn into our homeless veterans. And in LA we have a huge veterans problem. Yeah, I'm trying not to cry. um, because I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky that I have the life that I have, and that's why I want to help people get them back up on their feet. All right, so we have a huge homeless population out in LA. I think 64,000 homeless, and 1 out of 4 of those homeless people are my brothers and sisters that have fought the war and have come back wounded and turned to the bottle or drugs, and that's how they're coping with it. And it's such a sad story. Now, I said I'm going to get through this without crying, but maybe not. I did write notes because it's not my life story, it's my friend's life story, and my friend's name is Rick. And Rick was a Marine, and he served in Vietnam, and during 1967, something really horrible happened to him. And, he was just like any kid, goofy and everything. And we were in the Vietnam War, and he signed up for it. And, you never know where they're going to put you. Well, he became the leader of a kill squad. I know, it sounds exciting, like they'd make a movie out of it. And believe it or not, there is a book about Rick's life. And since he wrote a book, I'm going to put out his name. And I'm putting out an APB. If anybody sees my friend, Rick Ramage, Ramage, and he usually hangs out around Long Beach. And I'm going to talk about him because he's a true hero. And he may need help, or he may have passed. I don't know. I've been looking for him for a whole year. I've even driven out to Long Beach, and I can't find him anywhere. All right. So let me get back to my story. How did I meet Rick? I got to be at US Vets because I'm a disabled veteran, and it is a shelter out in Long Beach. And I went through the shelter program for over 2 years. And, every couple of days I'd see Rick, and he was probably 66 at the time. And he would stop by my van, and my old Chevy van, the van I'd be going back and forth to see Bob in. And I'd be fixing it up because even though I was at a shelter and I was told I could be at the shelter for 2 years and it was renewable, I knew that I would wind up on the streets at either they'd throw me out of the shelter, I couldn't cope in the shelter, or I would just wind up in my van. Anyhow, Rick is an amazing human being. Now then, he served in Vietnam, and he was the leader of a squad, the leader of a kill team. But let's examine what makes a person snap. One day you're normal, and the next day, poor Rick, his friend owned a bicycle shop in Redondo Beach, and for 20 years he slept on the floor in a bicycle shop. That's so sad. 2 decades. It's so terrible. He's an alcoholic. He was an alcoholic when I knew him. You couldn't be at US Vets and not be clean. They would definitely do urine samples like 20 times a week just to make sure. So he had cleaned himself up really good. But can you imagine one of our war heroes, 2-time Purple Heart winner, and no help, sleeping on the floor, on the basement, inside a bicycle shop for 2 decades. It's so sad. But Rick finally decided to get help when the bicycle shop owner sold his business. He closed the business, and Rick didn't have a place to sleep. All right. So Rick, like most veterans, they bury everything deep down inside. We're trained to be strong. I can have a broken arm and still drive a car. It doesn't matter. It's all in the mind. And but sometimes we do snap. So in December 19th, 1967, he was advised, his team was set on a mission, his kill team, and they were sent into the jungle. And in the jungle, one of his crew stepped on a booby trap, and it was a mine. Now, here's where Rick got his 2 Purple Hearts. The mine blew up the people. I mean, some people were gone from the waist down. Some were missing an arm. Shrapnel right between the eye. And he got his team to safety. Sorry. He got his team to safety. He's an amazing human being. That day, 12 people died. But he relives this over and over again. It haunts him. Let me turn this off. And I'm sorry, my friend deserves better than this, and that's why I want help finding him. You know, he was covered in blood. He could smell the blood. He could taste the blood. He could feel the blood all over him. But he managed to save those people in the jungle. And then when he came back from Vietnam, he was treated like an enemy in his own country. You know, it's pretty sad. And, you know, so I met Rick back in 2011, 2010, and we've had a good relationship for years. But, you know, once he was at the shelter, you know, after a couple of years, you get your service connect, and then they go find him a house. And because he had Social Security, he got a really nice house in Long Beach. But he started drinking again. You know, all the medicine in the world, sometimes you can't fix what's broken. And he drinks to block all this out, all this pain. And we kept in touch, and then all of a sudden, he went missing a year ago. Yeah, turning back to drink. So how do you help these veterans? How do you help these people? You see them all over with a sign, you know, disabled veteran. And, all right, if they're a disabled veteran, any VA clinic, get them in touch with any VA hospital. This is hard. They won't be turned away. The only reason why they will be turned away if they don't want to go into a drug and alcohol treatment program. And if they don't want to go into a drug and alcohol treatment program, and of course it comes with tons of therapy, okay? These people are heroes in their own right. God, I shouldn't put out these videos when I'm crying, but it needs to get out there. Like I said, there's 1 in 4 homeless people out there that are traumatized. Rick's traumatized. He has PTSD, as most of us do. So try to get them to a VA hospital. Try to get them to a clinic. You know, they won't go hungry. They won't. But if they refuse service, you can't help them. All right? And that's how to help them. I just saw a wonderful movie. It was done by Lucille Ball. And, you know, I see a lot of homeless movies like Nomadland, of course. But Lucille Ball did an excellent job portraying a homeless woman in New York City. And the movie's name is Stone Pillow. And it was made in 1985. And I recommend everybody watch it. Just so you can see how traumatized some of these homeless people really are. And if anybody finds Rick Ramage, please tell him to get in touch with Terry. It's the same phone number that's been in his phone for over 10 years, and I miss him. Goodbye from Terry. That never works.